Good. Oh, this ain't the correct one. Oh, okay, let's go with this. Welcome in tonight's round. We are in Jarama, we are in Spain, and we are here for the MX5 in Assetto Corsa. It's Wednesday, so it's our weekly hour of madness with the MX5 Cup, the little tiny cars that are used in the IMSA, or rather, in the Super Series of the IMSA WeatherTech Championship, so the Wellen MX5 Cup, but also they are sort of a ladder into the motorsport world for the youngsters in real life, but for tonight it's going to be Spain, and as you can see, it's the tiny track of Jarama. What about this track? Well, as I said, being in Spain, exactly called San Sebastián de los Reyes, 32 kilometers north of Madrid. It has been used in Formula E last year, and theoretically it's going to be held on 2026 once again. Or rather, it had to be held in 2024, but apparently it's going to be used in 2026. As of now, the only international series that takes place here is the FIA European Truck Racing Championship since 2021. And back in the days, it held a lot of interesting series. For one, there is the Formula 1 Spanish Grand Prix, but also the Spanish Motorcycle Grand Prix up until 1998, the SBK, the Endurance World Championship back in 1983, the ATCR, which is now dead, the Sidecar World Championship, and also the European Le Mans Series. This track, as you can see, is a bit reminding me of Algarve and Valencia. It's a bit of a mix of them, and it seems like it. The current circuit, the current shape of the circuit was built in 1991, but the effective track was first opened in 1967. And this is also a 3.8 kilometers racetrack. So it is 2.3 miles in wrong digits. But in any case, these are the standings in our series. As you can see from here, Edoardo Cavalli is currently leading the championship with 4,000 points on the spot. Jack Black follows another 520 points behind. Really Gallardo is third with Takayuki Okubo and Massimiliano Barale following behind. This is your top 5 for the championship. Let's see if everything works, and the answer is yeah. Yeah, as an Italian, I'm on the correct side of the measurement system, and miles are wrong, straight up. Unless you are American or in UK, which anyway, jokes aside, the results from last week are these ones. It was on Mountermount, and Edoardo Cavalli was the winner in front of Jack Black, Really Gallardo, the usual podium for you all, with then Krylov and Adam Galaxy in the top 5, with Rio Cadua, Massimiliano Barale, Tommy Winstrom, Ruben Kachka, and Romain. I can see time, what's the name? Let me just see the whole top 15, so I can just give everyone the correct spot. Romain Franchi in 10th with Manu Villa, Takayuki Okubo only 12th with Oscar Clendon, Marty Köpi and Franco Murua completing your top 15. He also has the wrong side. Well, to be fair, it's being used in many other countries like Japan, India. India actually half and half. John Machas, then Ignacio Sanchez, Michael Corralev, Pedro Casero, and David Rancagno being your top 20 for last week. In the meantime, let me see if I can jump into the lobby, and the answer is maybe. Can I do this? No, I cannot. So let me just see. Can I jump now? Which means server. Unfortunately, because it's not ACC, I've got to do a couple of things to join the session. So now it should work. Yes, it does. Jarama race. PTR2 conversion. Okay, everything works perfectly. Just give me some seconds as everything sets up. Unfortunately, I can't really join prior to the qualifying lobby being open, so I will always be a bit out of sync. So let me just pure configure everything on I. This one is on, and this one can't be on. Okay, but everything else should be on. Tuck, tuck, and tuck. Let's go into here. Let's go into live. So here we are. Everything works. And as it stands, the qualifying session is on. Anderson with a first time lap. Colin Anderson here, and number 9 with a 23 livery. As Cavalli sets the fastest time at the moment, 46.905, 2 tenths behind. That's I'll leave it on. I don't know if you write in German. I don't know if no, the liveries are on. I'm pretty sure the liveries are on. Did I do something wrong? Or because these are custom liveries for me. I'm not sure he's talking to me either. I think he's talking to Chris. Anyway, Cavalli first at the moment. Gallardo follows in second. Barranco is in third, a bit behind, 4 tenths behind to be exact. Something in I don't know German. I'm very sorry. I should learn it probably one day, but I don't know German. I just know the British language. Okubo follows in fourth, 5 tenths behind, and nearly a second behind. Anderson, Colin Anderson, former pole sitter up until a minute ago, now back on the main straight. As you can see, this could be an improvement for the American driver, and it is an improvement of second place at the moment. Only a tenth and a half behind. He's having some issues with custom liveries. Oh, okay, cool. Well, not cool meaning that it's okay. Cool meaning that okay, I understood. Gallardo now in third, and now pole sitter really Gallardo in the car number 22, and pole sitter by literally 0.000 because Cavalli was following and was second in line. This means that he will start as he stands second because the first time lap has precedence over the following one. Barranco is now in third, 3 tenths behind, and Anderson is now in fourth. And in a cool down lap, Krylov fifth, Lara sixth, Okubo in seventh, and Azzori a whole second behind. Asvila now slips into 10th place. Rani goes over the line to set the car in 8th. 2.0, and that's Jake Black in the middle of the traffic. Now in first place, in front of Gallardo and Cavalli. Setting another proper lap. 66 milliseconds in front of both Gallardo and Cavalli, who are still trying to set another lap time. In the minimap on the right, the green arrow is the car we are in, and the yellow ones are the ones not apologies, on a valid lap time, and the red ones are the ones not on a valid lap time. Final couple of corners. These actually final corner, apologies. This is a right-hander, and over the line in about 10 seconds time, not even 5 seconds. And that's pole position for Really Gallardo. The American driver is now well, was in pole up until a second later. As you can see here, that's Edoardo Cavalli, the Brazilian driver, sits in pole position, back in pole position in the 777. Racing School livery. So Black now is still here in third. Unfortunately, I think his lap time will have some struggles. As you can see, he has a car in front. That's Galaxy, Adam Galaxy. Yes, it is Adam Galaxy. They are a bit slower compared to Black, and as you can see, side by side here on the main straight. On the finish line, it's going to be an improvement for Galaxy and Black. Both of them had an improvement, but Black had a better improvement. First place on the line, a 10.5, nearly in front of Cavalli, nearly 3 times in front of Gallardo. Galaxy follows about half a second behind, with Okubo, Barranco, Lara, Azzori, Anderson, and Kirillov that just joined the AssettoAustin.com. Mazda in 10th place, a second behind. Full second behind. 2 minutes and a half to go. And Cazorla with effective DNQ at this point. As Anderson just set the 6th best time lap. Oh, that was a bit wide into turn 1. Yeah, the rear end didn't really cooperate. And Cavalli is back in the lead of the qualifying session, a 10th in front of Black, 4 times in front of Gallardo, and the Brazilian is back with a purple lap, 46.0. I wonder if somebody will be able to set a 45 by the end of the session. As Barranco is now in third, but 87 in the livery standings. The number you see beside the name is actually the strength, the relative strength against the field. So Barranco should be the 19th best driver, but as you can see, he is third. So he's definitely out of his own pace, in a good manner, obviously. I can't see relative lap times, so at this point I'm just guessing on who could improve. Galaxy could be one of them. Let's go for a... Ooh, okay. There isn't a second camera for the track. Let's go a bit on board with Adam Galaxy in the number 6. And now uphill into the second sector. Into turn 6. Slightly downhill from this point onward. And then into 7, the hairpin, turn 8. Third gear for Adam Galaxy. Possibly putting in second is an idea, but that will rotate your car way too much probably and make you lose traction. It's all downhill from here. Hard on the brakes into the left-hander to aim for the curb on outside. As the qualifying session is now over, there's still a couple of names that are... oh, that's the rear end! That's the rear end off. As Kirillov is now in the top 5, 5th place for Kirillov, the Bulgarian driver, 4 times slower than the pole sitter. As Adam Galaxy arrives at the line with a 46.6 that doesn't get better. Black actually managed to set a 45.9, so effectively pole sitter as it stands. Cavalli still about to complete the lap. Gallardo 3rd, Barranco 4th, and Kirillov 5th place. Galaxy 6th, Okubo 7th, with a question mark at the end because it could still be an improvement right now for the Japanese driver. The 77, Takayuki Okubo goes slightly quicker, 6th place for him. Lara also 8th, Anderson remains in 9th, Azzori in 10th, and Cavalli about to complete the lap. 84 milliseconds only. That's the gap between first and second. But at the line, it's going to be Cavalli on top of them all. So Black is in second, Gallardo third, Barranco fourth for Kirillov, fifth. Anderson at the end managed to get into sixth place. Okubo, then Galaxy, Lara, Azzori completed in 10th the qualifying session. Orani with Vila, Müller with Machas, Sasanovic, Sanchez, Müller, and then everyone else. So let's see if can I set let's please don't do all the things. So let's see if I can. This is the Canadian one. I need maybe it's a bit too early for the full grid. 2 minutes to go until the race starts. Hopefully the qualifying grid gets okay, everything is good. The side. Let's go for another one. Maybe this time it worked. No, not yet. Probably it will not get in time. As always, I hope everyone is having a good time. I hope the live is well oiled and that everything works perfectly, because every time it's a bit of a 50-50 on that regard. Mainly because I don't really know if the audio is correct. I can only hear myself, but I don't know if the stream has a correct audio mix. Let's give it another shot, otherwise I will just go. Okay, this is the full qualifying grid with the gaps. As you can see, 68 milliseconds only between Black and Cavalli, with Gallardo in third, the top 5 being separated by only 6 temps, and a whole second between, nearly a second between Azzori and Cavalli, with Orani being outside the first second. And this is a full grid with Cazorla that did not qualify for the race. He will start 25th and last. The Spanish driver in his own home track. So only 30 seconds till we start. Top 15 being separated by 1.6 seconds. There are a couple of groups, as you can see in the qualifying. Basically the whole top 4 has a bit of an advantage over the other drivers. But here we are for the very start of the race. 5 lights, no 6 in this case, till green light comes on. And it's green light and away we go. It was a wonderful, oh, there is a car stuck. There is a car stuck. That was Anderson stopped on track. He didn't start in time. He already loses a massive amount of positions. Even Galaxy now 13th already, as Cavalli takes first place. Gallardo follows in second, maybe third, actually second place. Effectively second place. Black now in position number 3. But will he remain in third? The answer is yes, he will. Barranco follows in fourth, Kirillov in fifth, or Kubo now sixth place. As Lara, oh, there is a good overtake, a huge launch. Actually, Anderson goes for ninth place, maybe even eighth, in front of the number 29. No, he remains behind the 29. He actually just overtook the number 07, which was the Italian Orani, who tried an inside line to get back in front of him, but he remains behind Anderson, who unfortunately remains stuck at the very start of the race. Same with Galaxy. Both of them had an awful start compared to everyone else. Gallardo is still second. Black is now in third after having lost the position on his teammate. And that's Barranco. As I said, the top 4 had a bit of an advantage over everyone else. Black's car was glowing for some reasons. I will not question that. This could be a good lunge into the inside. All of them actually a bit wide into the left-hander, with Barranco that gained a couple of meters, but only that, to be fair, as he has to remain behind. Okay. There's already Cavalli trying to extend the gap in first place, but as you can see, it's a bit difficult for him. Gallardo follows him quite closely, not even closely. That's bump draft for the number 22. Really, Gallardo, the American driver, just behind his rival. Then Black follows, and Barranco completes your top 4, maybe with an overtake into turn 1. This could be a very good cheeky overtake in front of Black that hasn't had the best of the race starts. Already losing the position on his teammate, and nearly doing the same on Barranco. Fastest lap of the race so far, 52.6, but obviously this is just the very first lap, so it holds very little value. As Kubo is behind assettohosting.com. Orange MX5. Wow, without a way to get in front. Sorry, some sort of no man's land for him. Then Lara, then Galaxy, only 9th. Anderson lost another handful of positions while I was looking at the front end of the pack. And Anderson is not really having the best race of his life. Oh, that was very wide for Orani. The Italian driver is going to lose possibly the position on the car number 71, but Villa remains closer to him. In the meantime, also here, the battle for first place. Gallardo. Oh, that's Barranco in the gravel. Barranco in the gravel, and that could be a loss of position for him as Kirillov jumps in front of him. So unfortunately, the Spanish driver now in 5th place after a mistake. The whole group was actually very much on the toes. And bump draft for all of them, with Black that follows his teammate. Possible overtake between Galaxy and Lara, as Galaxy sets foot into 8th place in front of the Spanish driver, and Orani follows behind. That's a good chunk of cars trying to battle for position number 15, with Machas on the outside. Sasanovic, no, apologies, Müller being the head train of this whole pack. But the number 87, that's Ignacio Sanchez behind Machas, and Casero follows behind in 17th. It's a bit difficult to overtake in this racetrack. As you can see, that was Machas going a bit wide, trying to find a different line to get in front of Müller. Number 58. And number 55, Sky Active, follows behind closely, but not much that can be done there. In the meantime, Anderson could be back in the fight for a position. And the number 23, Colin Anderson, looking in front. That's Orani and Villa, discussing the current situation for position number 10. So we are talking about the top 10 here. Cavalli and Gallardo, same exact lap time. But oh, that could be the overtake between teammates. No, the number 34 actually remains behind Jake Black, and that's Barranco behind, actually going from the outside to get position number 4, and Kirillov loses it. So the 87 is back in position number 4, but 2 seconds behind the leading group. A lot of ground has to be made back for him to get back in the battle for first. It's not impossible, but it's definitely very difficult. Manu Villa, number 71, trying to get in front of Orani. On the outside he tries. Not much space available for him, otherwise it would have been the gravel. But Manu Villa in the number 10. And number 71 in the livery, but actually number 10 on the bottom right, apologies. Number 71 is really keen on trying a move. At the same time, Anderson is now back on being a danger for these two. Oh, that's very wide for Orani. Oh, also a bit of a tap between 71 and 07. And that's Manu Villa that manages to get in front of Orani. 71 now ahead. It could be a cutback, but it doesn't happen. So Orani remains in 11th. Back in the leading group. Back in the main straight. And back on the number 34. This time doesn't bump draft, remains behind. So Cavalli doesn't get away with it. It remains in first for now, but steadily the gap remains only 4 times. Orani here on the inside into turn 1. It could be possible for the 07 to get back to position number 10. And as such, he does so. And that's Michele Orani. Back in the position number 10. Manu Villa on the outside, which now is the inside line. Nothing is available for him. Anderson on the other side of this group. Was trying to get something different, but he can't really find an opening. So still 12 for Colin Anderson. As Ruzzante and Müller. Müller the number 57, Danny Müller now 17th with Ruzzante that lost a position number 17, now he is in 18th place, in the other number 71. And Sanchez that could be overtaken by the car behind. And as such, that's Müller going for 2 in a lap. Although, as you can see from the new map, it's going to be a left-hander, a double left-hander. So I doubt Müller will be able to clinch the position unless there is a mistake from Sanchez, which happens. He goes way too wide, maybe on the gravel, not on the gravel, but still he completes the pass. That's Danny Müller on the outside again. No, actually he doesn't complete, actually he goes in the gravel. Nearly spin for the 57, but he lost the position on both of the drivers with which he was battling with. And that's another parallel lap. This time, Jake Black. 6.1 for Jake Black. Interestingly, Gallardo and Cavalli had the nearly same lap time, 6.3 for them. 6.4 for Barranco, kill of 6.8 with a 7.2 for Kubo. Sorry, 7.2, 6.8 for Galaxy. So Galaxy could be actually in the battle for 7th. 30 minutes to go, so already 10 have gone by. And I wonder if the battle for position between teammates may sparkle, or if it will remain a sort of team order. Current positions could remain a team order, as Jake Black may actually have some pace. 46.1 is definitely a good lap. As Anderson is just behind with Orani that narrowly follows Villa. Anderson is way closer to Orani than Orani to Villa. You can easily see it. The number 23 is yet not able to complete the passage. Oh, that's Ruzzante. Oh, that's Ruzzante. They lost a whole bunch of positions. And that's also Müller. This time Jan Müller trying to get a position out of Kostrin's hands. But he too remains behind. Yeah, Ruzzante in the end lost the position on Ortega too. So he is now in 21st place as Orani is about to lose the position on Anderson. That's for 11th place, and Anderson makes it up into 11th place. Number 23 gains the place into turn number 1, and by turn number 2 he still thinks about it. Maybe on the outside, very difficult. That clearly was an idea. The rear end of number 23 is completely butchered, so you can see from here. But Orani can't really use the cutback as an offensive weapon. He remains behind and can't really make it up. Although you can see from the lap times, it was a very slow lap time for Orani, 48.6. 7.9 for Anderson, 7.6 for Villa. So Villa in the end had the profit out of this battle. Leading group for a moment, because as you can see here, Gallardo now barely behind. You can understand who is Gallardo, who is black. As you can see, there is a little variation in the livery. There is the blue and the light blue, sort of fender variation. Not even a fender, it's more like an accent variation on the car, on the front end of the car. Can see if also the rear. Oh, okay, yeah, also the rear end of the car is slightly different. Only 2 times between both Gallardo and Cavalli and Black. 6.1 for Gallardo, it was the best lap of the whole session. 6.1 also from Black, only 5 milliseconds slower, and Cavalli this time was the slower horse of the three, although he's still in first. So no overtake between, or rather among the three. I'm saying between the two, but actually Black is definitely on pace to win this. I don't really know who could win this. My chips are on all of them. There isn't really a strong warrior out of the three, but it seems like both Gallardo and Black have a bit of an upper hand. They could get the position in one lap or the other. But they're keeping the formation. Wonder if it will change. If it will ever change. It may remain like this for the whole duration. In the meantime, 7th place is now in danger for Azzurri. Stefano Azzurri now in 7th, but just behind that Saddam Galaxy that could be en route for another place. Remember, he was starting way higher in the grid, but then a very poor start brought the car back out of the top 10 for a moment too. But it was a bit wide for Cavalli, but I can see a possible overtake happening with some help. Again, yeah, bump draft. Clearly going for the bump draft once again. He's not really willful on the move. It seems like he wants to stay behind, but I don't know why. I really don't understand why he wants to stay behind. Let's go for 7th. As you can see here, Adam Galaxy goes for position number 7 into turn number 1. And that was the position for the Canadian. 2 seconds up front. Okubo. Another 2.3 sits Kirillov. But Galaxy has been having a wonderful race, if you don't consider the first 5 seconds. Going for overtake after overtake. As Anderson also is keen on making a pass for the top 10. Although nothing seems to change in the meantime. Also Sanchez and Mueller battling for position number 16. Danny Mueller on his way to get 16th place, or rather to defend at this point. But Sanchez isn't able to do anything about it. So 17 for him. Back in front. Oh, this was an accident of a move. Maybe there was an idea. But still, nothing happens. Still, nothing changes. We have to wait for a mistake from Cavalli, or perhaps there is something more I'm not really understanding. Orani is back in contention for position. He had a couple of slow laps. He lost his place, but now he's just behind Anderson. And out of the 3 in the battle, he was actually the 2nd quickest. Villa was narrowly quicker. It was not a good lap for Anderson. 7.3 compared to the 7.0 for Villa and 7.0 for Orani. Also, this is a great battle for 17th with Sanchez and Müller. This time it is Ian Müller trying to get a position number 17, so Sanchez will lose another one here for the number 58. That's into the inside, no contact between the two, but that's number 87 that loses another place. So now 17th for Müller and 16th for Danny Müller. Seems like the gaps are starting to close once again. There is a current battle for 10th. There is a possible battle for 7th. There is a possible battle for 6th actually, because Galaxy is gaining ever so slightly, and it could be the passage for 10th place for Colin Anderson. On the inside he goes into turn 1 and he completes the pass even prior to the end of the turn number 1, although the 23 was a bit keen on not going out of the racing line, so this could actually be Villa back on the offensive, this time on the outside for number 71. Is a bit difficult, but the next corner is a left-hander, so Manu Villa has the upper hand on his rival that has to remain behind. Switcheroo, not possible. It is actually the 07 that goes for the inside. Oh, there's a contact. Oh, the car is off into the grass, and Oran is off for a half spin, losing the position on Machas. So disaster for the battle between the two. And Villa comes out of it unscattered. Orani lost 2 places, Anderson 2 seconds, and the right door, or part of it at least. And it's very unfortunate because, as you can see from the lap time, it was a 6.8. It was a wonderful time for Anderson compared to the rivals around him. On the one hand, Anderson is still on clean air, at least, so he can still gain back the time he lost, especially if he can deliver 6s compared to Villa that still hasn't been able to set a lap lower than 47.0. 2.4 seconds are a good chunk. But I don't think there is much damage to the car overall. 50.2. But Villa was still at 7.8, so it could have been worse. Obviously 7.8, mainly because of the battle that was ongoing between the two. In the meantime, there is also Ruzzante going for 22nd in front of Alexander. Ralph Alexander here, and that's a switch of positions. Ruzzante, the Argentinian driver, is now in 22nd place, with Ralph Alexander in 23rd. Battle for 8th. This could be interesting. Very different line between Gabriel Lara and Stefano Azzori. In lap times, Azzori managed to set his best lap at 7.1, but Lara set a 6.9, and it wasn't even the best lap. So it's clear that Gabriel Lara has a bit of an upper hand compared to the Italian. The Canadian is setting 6.8. Now back on the main straight. Looking at the gaps, well, that's actually 29. That's not really defending. It's actually letting the Spanish driver pass by. Odd thing. I wonder if it's sort of an excuse letter for something that happened prior that I haven't seen. Rani also trying the outside move into turn 1. It's a very difficult one. That didn't happen. Or maybe it did happen. Still side by side with Sasanovic. And actually the 07 managed to get it through. From the outside into turn 1. It was a very particular move. But Michele Rani... Oh, there's another contact! In the very same corner as earlier. And so the 07, and scratch what I said, he is back in contention for position number 13. But he was on the inner side of the road. So once again he had the best outcome. Position for him. Next up it is Juan Machas. I was trying to put together my thoughts about the battle for the lead. Unfortunately, Barranco, after the mistake that happened a few laps ago, hasn't managed to get back in the rhythm with the top 3. And so his gap is now 4.6 seconds. And Cavalli has now started to extend the gap. And this obviously makes me wonder why both Gallardo and Black didn't go for an overtake when it was perfectly possible. And they remained in the bottom draft. In the meantime, this battle is still going on between Sasanovic and Rani for 14th. Dimas Sasanovic and the number 07 of Michele Rani going way too wide, outbreaking everything and everyone in existence, but still managing while sideways to complete the pass in front of his rival. So Michele Rani, he is now back in 14th at 4 seconds behind Juan Machas. The thing that comes to mind looking at these little cards having fun is that the Formula E is going to be here in 2026. It's with how can that race go smoothly? I don't really think that race is going to have a good time. Mainly because Formula E is quite honestly always a bloodbath in terms of clean racing. It's very much a sort of touring car-esque kind of racing, the one in Formula E. And so I'm really curious about what can Formula E do here in Jarama. 15 minutes to go. Azzori and Lara still having a bit of a fight, as Gabriel Lara is now trying to defend against Stefano Azzori. Very aggressive defense. Not really leaving anything up for grabs. Maybe a bit too wide there for Lara. No, not really. Seems like a completely different line. And Casero also. That's an overtake for Pedro Casero in front of Miller. As Danny Miller is trying. Oh, that's a bit of gravel for Pedro Casero. As Danny Miller is trying to get position number 15. Ian Miller behind could also become a troublesome affair for Pedro Casero, who just lost the position number 15. Only 13 minutes to go. This has been a quite eventful race. And now Stefano Azzori goes in front of his rival. Gabriel Lara is now back in 9th, with the Italian back in 8th place. Saturn Galaxy also reached Okubo. Still one after the other, Azzurri and Lara. With two that are still having a bit of a battle. But as of now, the Italian remains ahead of the Spanish driver. The Canadian, just 5 seconds ahead, is also battling with Okubo. Takehiko Okubo in the number 77. Lagging a tiny bit compared to Adam Galaxy. 4 times now free between the two, and you can see from the lap times that Adam Galaxy is really having an easier time compared to his rival. 7.1 in the last lap for Okubo, 6.8 for Galaxy, who this time has to wait because a move can happen, but only cleanly. And apart from that brief moment where Okubo was inside the ground, seems like it's a bit of a difficult job to get an overtake cleanly here. Punti madam. Not sure if probably it will get reported by everyone else if not from Okubo. Considering the live coverage is on them if anything happens. As here Gabriel Lara. Still quite glued to his rival. There are a lot of battles going on at the moment. Also Müller. Ian Müller gets in front of Casero, so 16th place. There is a battle for 10th place with Anderson still behind Villa. There's the battle for 8th with Azzurri and Lara battling for position, and there is a Galaxy and Okubo without mentioning the obvious battle for the lead of the races. It's been crystallized for the whole time. Unfortunately, after the various bump drafts, I'm not really sure why they haven't tried an overtake when the opportunity was there. And now with 10 to go, I'm not sure there is availability for a possible pass between Gallardo and Cavalli, even because Cavalli now set the gap to 1.2 seconds. As now Villa doesn't start to defend, mainly because there isn't space available here. For the driver in the car number 23. Now on the main straight. This could actually be the moment for Anderson that chooses to bump draft. So even him remains confident on the fact that right now an overtake wouldn't be a good idea. Also from the lap times you can see that Galaxy had a wonderful 6.6 as fast as Gallardo in second. Okubo had a 6.8, 7.4 for both Azzurri and Lara, and it was a 7.0 for Villa and a 6.8 for Anderson, with much as 7.2, but 2 seconds off. Each of these battles are on the edge of happening, but none of them are are going on effectively. At the moment there is very little available space to make a pass, so you have to choose wisely your moves. Cabellera that breaks a bit later compared to Azzurri. Oh, that's a bit wide. Oh, that's a grass, and that's a loss of about a tenth probably. Unfortunately, that was just prior to the main straight in which there is a current battle between Okubo and Galaxy. With Galaxy that chooses the outside line, or rather it is Okubo that chooses to defend into the inside. But the Japanese driver remains in 6th place. It was the fastest lap of the session for Black in 3rd. In the meantime, but here the number 77 still defends into the inside line, into turn number 3. With Adam Galaxy that has to find a way, he just can't find one. A cutback could be possible. The uphill section without a lift off. And Galaxy that could have a higher chance here, a little tap between the two, just to keep Okubo on the wrong side of the line. Oh, there's a contact between the 3 and the 77. It's very difficult to make a pass, as I said. There are a lot of left and right, and then left again, and then right again sections, in which even if you are on the correct side for one moment, you are on the wrong one for the other. So you have to make your moves quickly. But for this lap, at least this one, I think the Japanese driver will have the upper hand on his rival. Although you can see it's very close. The 77 that maybe, just maybe, remains ahead. Not currently, as you can see, he is just half a length in front of Okubo. Okubo is on the inner side of the road, making it very difficult to move for Galaxy on the outside. But we saw it earlier, you can make it on the outside, you just have to keep on going because turn 3 is a left-hander. So this is Adam Galaxy that goes for 6th place, completing the pass on Japanese driver and effectively putting the car number 3 in front of the number 77. Takayuki Okubo now 7th place for him. So the Canadian now has to defend as Okubo still wants to find a way back. In the meantime, there is also the battle for 2nd place as Gallardo lost a tremendous amount of time. All of a sudden, he lost an entire second in one lap. So this is the battle for 2nd between Gallardo and Black, with Black that clearly has a better pace compared to his teammate. As Okubo, I think he effectively lost the chance to get back in front of Galaxy. So this is the battle between Gallardo and Black for 2nd place. No bump draft. Number 34 is on the inside, number 22 on the outside. And the British driver has the upper hand in front of his teammate. Maybe a bit too late, because 1st place could have been possible, but now they're battling for 2nd. 3 seconds behind the leader, as the 34 is back on the inside line. The number 22 tried to follow for a comeback, but he is again on the outside, and he's again going to lose some terrain from his teammate. Little tap probably between the two, but the 34, the British driver, has the better line. The American will follow. Speaking of American driver, that was Anderson trying an attack on Villa. That didn't succeed. So the 23 still in 10th place. Last lap it was a 7.3 for Anderson, 7.6 for Villa. As Casero is still battling with both Müllers. The 73-year Müller on the inside, the number 58 could get ahead of the 36, and it happens. That's for 15th place. Casero on the outside this time around, so Jan Miller will have the upper hand. Maybe even Danny Miller will get a position in front of Pedro Casero. The Spanish driver is trying the best possible against both of the Mullers. Contact between the 46 and the 57. Can he get a hold of at least one of the two places? On the inner line remains, side by side between the two. And Pedro Casero is now not only behind the 58, with the 57 that follows. Oh, on the grass! Oh, there's a contact! Oh, the 57 is off! Oh, a huge crash! Huge crash here between Casero and Muller, with Muller that was completely out of control. Terrible crash between the two. And that's Casero that has tremendous front end damage on his car. And Muller that doesn't have the left side of the car anymore. So will the Spanish driver be able to complete the race at least in 16th place? Muller 15th at this point he is clear of any attack. Doesn't have to worry too much. Casero somehow still running on 4 wheels, and Muller that was completely out of control. A penalty may be possible, and if so, it will be the race control that will decide after the race is over. With the battle for top 10 still going on, there is a very slight chance for second place to still change. But as it stands, as you can also see from the minimap, we've got a Brazilian driver still in the lead. This time the gap is 3.5 seconds. So white flag brought to you by GSI, proud partner of the series. And also, I was saying it, and that Jack Black that loses a position on his teammate Riley Gallardo. So now the British driver is back in third. And as you can see also from 9th place, Anderson could still make it through into position number 9. Still Anderson remains in 10th. Effectively, this is a wheel setup in contention. As the price for the top 3 is 3 different GSI wheel variations. But more than that on the post race. Cavalli has a 4 seconds lead. Has Gallardo on the outside, a very difficult move. Could have been possible, but Jake Black is back in 2nd place, as you could see. The American has to follow. Not sure which one of the two will be in front of the other, but I'm sure who will be in front of everyone else, and that's Edoardo Cavalli. The Brazilian driver will win the Jarama round with a 4.5 seconds advantage over Jake Black. Maybe Jake Black, and it is Jake Black. Yes, it is Jake Black, narrowly in front of Gallardo, that just lost Barranco in 4th, Kirillov in 5th. Galaxy completes the race in 6th place, with Okubo following in 7th. Lara, ache for him, and Villa managed to get a position in front of Anderson. Machas, then Azzori in 12th, and Rani in 13th place, only 10th behind. Sasanovic 14th, Müller completes in 15th. Casero in the end managed to get 16th, with Müller with Danny Miller in 17th, Ignacio Sanchez in 18th, with Costarin, Ruzzante, Ortega in 21st, Struck in 22nd, and Ralph Alexander 23rd. Completing the grid, Arne Vro and Jose Cazorla still at 27 seconds behind the whole grid. So we'll just wait for the number 25 on the standings. Car number 70, that's a livery in which Jose Cazorla is in. Also for the final standings and the final takes about the race that just happened. So that's the flag for Jose Cazorla. So this was the 40 minutes of Jarama. Let me just have a look at a couple of things in the meantime that the server will close. Let's go on to see exactly what they are fighting for, because these are the prices for the first, second and third in the standings, as the winner of the championship goes home with an FPA V2 wheel from GSI, a GXL V2 for the second place holder, and an Interlock Ultra for whoever arrives in third. As you can see, these are great wheels, with the first one being practically an F1 wheel. And for more information, just head to the website, the GSI website, but also these are the prices for the Pro Series, for the GSI MX5 Pro Series, but effectively there are prices for everyone. As you can see here, there are prices for the GT3 series, there are prices for the SyncMesh TCR Cup, for Radical Cup, and all the informations are in front of your screen right now. It's a bit late into the season, so I'm not sure how much you can still get a grasp if you haven't joined the series yet, but maybe a third place is still possible in the various championships. Let's see if the results are on. I'm not really sure. They are already on. Not yet, unfortunately. So we'll just stay on this window for now. This was a very nice race, with very few crashes. Effectively, only a couple of cars has had an incident. I think it was just a couple of cars, maybe 3 or 4 cars in total had an incident of some sort. So actually it was a pretty clean race this time around. We're trying to see whether the full standings are on, which the answer is not yet. So in the meantime, the final classification is getting an update. Tomorrow it's Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday. But tomorrow is also the ACC time. So if you are also interested in that, there is the Porsche Cup, which has in great as a great prize for the winner of the championship. There is a track day in a Porsche Cup, in a real one, and also there is the Kesking.de Pro Series with a lot of important prizes on the line. So there's also that, but more importantly, Le Mans Ultimates is about time. It's about time for Le Mans Ultimates, because there is confirmation that from next week there is going to be the Le Mans Ultimate schedule with Spa, Imola, Portimao, Monza, Silverstone and Le Mans, the finishing round. It's going to be held on Tuesday, and there are a lot of important prizes on the line too, for all class winners and podium sitters. But more on that on the next Tuesday. Just see if results are on. Still Montauban. No, okay, yeah. I cannot have a look at it. Maybe if we just restart everything. No, okay, not everything, but fortunately I don't think they changed yet. First of course, it takes a bit more time than the usual. As you see, it's a bit quicker. It's probably down to how Assetto Corsa manages things up. In the meantime, let me go to the calendar, because this is the current calendar for Assetto Corsa, with the next race for the MX5 Cup being held at Phillip Island, a circuit well known in the MotoGP environment. Then there is Sonoma, which is a track maybe more known to the American fans because of the NASCAR Cup Series and the Xfinity, which is now the O'Reilly series that takes place there. And there is Norrisring. So for whoever follows DTM, there is also Norrisring, Bilsterberg, which I'll be honest, I have never heard of it. And then there is the Nordschleife, which doesn't really need any effective presentation. But also there are a lot of other series in which you can participate. There is the double weekly with LMP2 and GT3 and LMP3. There's the F2004 on Saturday. There is the Radical Cup on Saturday. There is the Daily Tatus series, and there is the Daily GT3 with the addition of the Porsche Cup on both Monday and Thursday. This is the whole calendar, with also the Green Hell Cup that is being held on Tuesday and Saturday every week for the whole 13 weeks. At this point the results should be on. I'm very surprised that they still haven't changed. Yeah, the answer is still no. I would like to end the stream at least with an update to one of the two tables. But in the end, this was the classification prior to tonight's round. So Cavalli goes home with another improvement over Jake Black and Really Gallardo that are following behind. Unfortunately, I don't think the standings are really cooperating. Yeah, at this point, no, I don't think they will ever update, unfortunately. So we'll just jump on to end the stream. Thank you very much for having followed tonight's race. I hope you had a good fun, and that was all for your interest. If you still want some more racing from LFM, tomorrow it is Assetto Corsa Competizione for you all with John Wright on the commentary booth. But from me, Chris Romano, this was all for tonight. So go have a good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe and see you next time. Bye.